Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Paul from HP here with the Envy X360 15. So let's do a small tour of this device. You can see what it's all about. You can see it starts with this 4-stripe HP logo that's placed in the center of this pressed metal chassis. So it's an all metal device, feels really premium in the hand. What you're going to notice with this product is it is really a desktop replacement. So it's a little larger in size, a bit heavier in weight, but that does afford you many more ports of all the right things that you'd want for the price. So on this side here, it starts with a USB-C port that is capable of charging. You can do video out as well as data in, as all your docks, everything you have for your work from home setup. Of course, you've got a USB port, USB-A port. It's actually a drop drawer. That's what we call this piece here. So you can still fit a bigger legacy USB stick in, even though it's still quite thin, as well as a new HDMI port. And it's good to see a headset jack is still remaining in these products. As I flip around the back, you'll notice how brutal and sort of aggressive that rear design is. It looks really modern, really sort of slick in the flesh. On the back here, you've got those exhausts, that little center partition there, getting the hot air away from you. Most importantly, not blowing onto your legs. As you look at the branding here, it's quite subtle, but you get that Envy just etched into the back there with a slight sort of chrome effect on the side of the hinge, which when it catches the light does look beautiful. Let's spin it around to the right-hand side, and this is where you see your traditional HP pin and tumbler sort of charging jack. Of course, you don't need to use this. You can just use a USB-C charger, and that'll charge that too. A traditional USB-A port along with a full-size SD card reader, which is pretty handy. The device is pretty much the same thickness from back to front, but you do get a slight tapering of the edge, which does look quite nice actually. It kind of makes it feel a little thinner. And of course on the bottom there, ignore the stickers, this is just a sample unit, you won't have that on yours. You get those Bang & Olufsen speakers and that huge intake, which you can just see how much space is dedicated to cooling. So you're really going to get lots of extra air into the machine. Let's open it up. So I'll pipe it down on the table. Now this is an X360, so you're going to get a big, beautiful 15-inch display in a really nice screen to body ratio here. So it looks very premium. The overall chassis size is certainly not as big as you'd expect for a large 15-inch display. Being a 360, it does fully swivel and pivot around. So you can have this in what we call, I like this as like my Netflix and chill mode. This is kind of how I watch movies. Of course, you can fold it completely flat like a tablet and use it as you would expect. This is really handy for writing A4 notes as well, or at least portrait-based notes. I like popping on a digital piece of paper there and then using the pen to write. Of course, you can also put it in its tent mode or more of an A-frame type setup. Of course, it does have a screen that auto-rotates without really any user input. And then of course, it does go back to its traditional notebook setup. Now, let's check out some of the traditional notebook features within the device. And of course, being the metal chassis, it does catch the light really beautifully. The backlit keyboard, you can see, is actually quite bright. It does even have a few stages of backlight. So it's like a bright, not so bright, and then an off. Of course, you can just use that as your will, just a little setting just for that. Going into the keyboard features, you will see some all-in-one keyboard features here. So you've got the power button now on the keyboard, not on the sides. It's less accidental knocks. You also then have next to that the camera shutter button. This will put a shutter or a blind of your webcam so no one can spy on you. Just next to that we have the command center button, so that's F12 there, and this button here will open up some thermal management settings. And then of course you've got the microphone mute button. I love this one for making sure that no one can hear what you're saying, or take yourself off mute, so to speak, on Zoom or other video chats, along of course the backlit keyboard button, mute button, and all the others. I really love how they put the fingerprint reader actually in replacement of the control key on the right hand side. I'm sure some people will hate that, but there is still one over here. So you've got you've got a backup. This is not using a glass trackpad like the Spectre does, but it's certainly a large, really large trackpad, Microsoft Precision enabled. So you're going to find really good responsiveness here out of that large multi-gesture trackpad. As you place the device back on the table here, you'll see those Bang & Olufsen speakers here along the top there. Sort of a tessellation of microdots arranged in that fractal pattern, which does just look beautiful. Remember, just 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, so 4 speakers in total. Those 2 speakers on the bottom will fire sound off the tabletop. Gives you a really nice sound stage, does sound beautiful, but also it's quite handy because when you flip it into its 360 mode, you then have 2 upward facing speakers. So if those speakers in the front there are being muffled by, say, a bed or maybe the couch or wherever it's sitting, you still get some really good environmental facing speakers, which of course is super handy. Being Bang & Olufsen, they do sound really good. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. That is the HP Envy X360 15. Big, large screen, certainly can be a desktop replacement, all the latest ports, nice, quick, fast charge battery, pressed alloy construction, and of course the beautiful premium HP 4-stripe logo on at the top there, so you can show off to all your friends. Anyway, my name is Paul. Thanks for watching my rundown of this lab.